Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray. This is second Saturday, and he is here. He's got on his Hook shirt over there, and I got on my B&M shirt over here. And
yes, sir. We're talking fishing.
You know that.
Good morning, everybody.
There he is. Ron Wong is here on this great Saturday morning, and I hope everybody's having a great time. I hope everybody is safe and secure. And, yes, I do have a deer, and so I'm anxious.
I can't wait to get mine.
Yes, I can't wait to pick it up from Dave Payne and all those great folks out there at Galloway at Pipe Dream Farms Butchery, but we kind of leveled out the show today because there's a lot to talk about on this second Saturday, and so I want you to stick around because from top to bottom, Tom Benson, of course, is going to tell us what's going on at one of my favorite Tennessee destinations. That's the Tennessee Aquarium and the IMAX Theater, and we might talk a little weather with Tom because not only is he the marketing and communications man for the Tennessee Aquarium, but he's also a former TV news weather guy.
All right. He knows
the weather, and we could talk to him. And then John Berry and Lori Slose going to get a report from what's going on in the White River, the North Fork, and all those other areas in Arkansas called trout fishing. Matt Simcox is going to join us, as he does about this time every year, to talk about the Tennessee Wildlife Federation's Hunters for the Hungry program.
Great program.
Great program. They're going to... I think it was over 3,000 deers donated last year to feed the needy.
And there could be more.
There's going to be more this year, I can tell you that for a fact.
Sir.
And then Ron, is, as he always does on his show, got a couple of slots here with some familiar folks. Mark Copley, former Memphian, now with Rather Outdoors, and Ron may know his title. It's a long one, but we're going to talk about Christmas gifts, right, Ron?
Oh, yeah.
Lou, Strike King, a lot of different things that Rather is part of.
Yeah.
And then close out the show. It won't be long till the big show.
First weekend February.
Yeah, and I think this is number 26. I think last year was 25. I don't know. It was the Grizzly Jig show up in Caruthersville, Missouri. And so we're going to talk to Wade Mansfield. His family, Louis, started this thing in a little old small area up there now, and golly, Ron,
Caruthersville, Missouri.
It is now the destination.
It really is. It's I think last year they said they were visitors during the Grizzly Jig show.
Yeah.
From like 23 states.
Wow.
Now think about that.
That's pretty amazing.
That's really amazing.
There's probably some states that call it crappie instead of crappie. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because there are people coming from the Carolinas.
Yeah.
And they call it crappies there.
They do that. And then what do they call it in Louisiana?
Sockeye.
Yeah, there it is. So, but anyway, we'll talk to Wade at the bottom of the show, but 90 minutes. Good morning to all you good folks in Brownsville on 95.3 and 1520 AM, and Jackson, Tennessee on News Talk 101.5, and right here in Memphis, Tennessee on AM 790, 92.9 HD FM, the Odyssey family of stations. Shelby McCall is our show producer.
She's the best.
And we will say right now, and we will remind you, she will have the trumpet next Saturday. I've already worked it out. She's going to have the trumpet next Saturday because we're going to make a big announcement on Outdoors with Larry Ray next Saturday. We're going to make a real big announcement that you folks need to stick around next Saturday when we talk to, on the show. Frank Barton will be in next Saturday to talk about the Arcabutler Lake Physically Challenged Deer Hunt, which was will end up this weekend. Frank was down there last weekend for 3 days and did a great job. But I know that the weather has been up and down. We're getting a little rain today. But fishing is one of the prime things when we bring in Mr. Wong. No one, I'm telling you, no one. I even put that on Facebook, Ron. I think it was Thursday or so. I posted on there about Matt being on the show, talking about Hunters for Hungry. Then I had to throw in there about what I think is the best fishing report you'll find in the Mid-South. And as I said in my posting, I don't know if you had a chance to see it, Ron, or not, but I said, no notebook, no pencil, no paper. Straight off the top of his...
I don't know how to write.
straight off the top of his Westwood Longhorns and Ole Miss Hotty Toddy and University of Memphis, Ron Wong's head. And so I'm going to kick this show in high gear here because I feel like I'm on. I got a lot of energy this morning.
That's good.
I don't know why it is, but
that's good.
Let's get it out of the way. And I want y'all folks to know that you can go to LarryRay.com anytime and pick up this show.
That's right.
On LarryRay.com.
That's right.
You can look at all the previous shows. You'll be able to see and hear. You know what you won't see, but we have pictures of Ron with a lot of big fish that he catches, including that big crappie. You were going crappie fishing. You caught a bass, right?
I caught,
6-pound bass while you.
I caught a 6-pound, 6-ounce bass
while you were crappie fishing. Yeah.
And the day before, I caught a 5.87-pound bass on crappie fishing. And, I caught them on 4-pound test line.
Did you really?
Yeah, on a crappie rod. I'm not bass fishing. When I go crappie fishing, I'm strictly going to try to catch crappie, but I've been catching those occasional bass, and it's a lot of fun.
Ooh, that was a big one, and I said, golly.
Just got to.
Well, before you give the report, what did you catch it? Tell us, because you had a crappie. You were fishing for crappie, but you caught this 6-pound plus bass.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What were you using?
I was using a crappie magnet Popeye jig.
Okay.
A 1/32 ounce jig that's
wow, 1/32.
It's about 3/4 of an inch long.
And the bass
jig, and that's it. Using a small minnow on it. And that's got a size 4 hook on her, and that's a small hook.
How did you get that thing in the?
Well, it was.
How'd you land that baby? Because it had to be.
You fight it for a while, and of course, when I'm using a 12-foot B&M Diamond Series rod, which is very limber. So it's just a matter of keeping your drag right and fighting the fish until you can get them next to the boat. And I was catching 2 pounds, 2.25 pound crappie on that thing too.
Oh,
but
my.
It's a lot of fun, a lot of good eats. I gave some of my fillets to my buddy Jack Salmons.
All right, Jack, appreciate those. I know, but did you know it was a bass when you first got it, Ron? What would you?
When I first set the hook, I said,
yeah,
this may not be a crappie. It's either a bass or a catfish.
Catfish. I would think it might be a catfish, and you finessed it in and got it in. Took a picture and put it back in the water.
Absolutely. Those big fish all need to go back in the water.
So let's talk fishing. Let's have that report. Ron, you ready? Take a deep breath.
Let's go.
Here we go, folks.
All right, let's start out with the Tennessee River.
All right.
Kentucky Lake.
Yes.
Pickwick Lake. The bass are still biting real good. A jig and pig is working real, real good on the humps, still close to the edge of the river. It's not that deep.
All right.
And then the A-rig, the Alabama rig, is working real well. Now, let me remind you that in the state of Tennessee, only 3 hooks are allowed.
All right.
You can have a 5-wire bait,
but only 3 hooks.
Two of the wires will have dummies on them.
Okay. All right.
And so what I'm using is a 2.8 Strike King swimmer, a rage-tail swimmer.
All right.
And a 3.25 in the middle for them, and it's working real well. And the secret I have here.
What is the secret?
Or a tip I have.
A tip. All right.
Use a 1/16 ounce head on your Alabama rigs, because what it does is when you throw it out, let it sink for just a little bit, and start your slow retrieve, and then stop, slow retrieve, and you use the 16th ounce because you can roll it slower without it falling and getting hung up on you.
Okay, all right.
And as soon as you feel a bite, set the hook.
All right.
But that's working real, real well right now.
Where?
For the crappie, they're catching a lot of crappie on Bobby Garland baits, on crappie magnet baits.
Yes.
8 to 10 feet deep around brush piles on whether it's Pickwick or Kentucky Lake, and fishing over deeper water.
Up
to 20 feet.
Whew, okay.
There are a lot of brush piles that are sticking up.
Yes.
10 feet, and those are perfect. And the tip I have on crappie fishing.
What?
If you see them on your graph.
Yes.
And a lot of people just use a graph, not forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
Fish above the fish. Crappie will not go down to eat.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
All right.
They eat up.
Okay.
Now going down to the I-55 lakes, Sardisina, Grenada.
Yeah.
Crappie fishing is really, really good now.
Yeah.
Any standing timber that has over 5 to 7 feet of water.
Yeah.
Excellent. Using a crappie magnet with a tipped with a minnow.
Okay.
Jigging around those any kind of cover that's sticking up.
All right.
Will work well. Also, if you will use a double minnow rig.
Okay.
Fished 8 to 12 feet, 8 to 10 feet deep.
Okay.
Over deeper water. Slow trolling.
Slow
0.3 to 0.45 miles an hour, and that's
okay.
it.
0.3 to 0.4. Okay.
The bass are biting still at Sardis and Enid and Grenada.
Yeah.
White spinnerbaits are working real well, and my tip here is to use a spinnerbait that has a willow and Colorado blade combination on it.
Yeah.
Slow rolling it, or use a black and blue jig. I like to use a structured jig.
Okay.
Tipped with a menace, and it works real well now. Also, you still can catch some on a 2.5 or 1.5 KVD crankbait in a shad color.
Okay. Well, you hear all that, and you notice we only got a couple of minutes here, but I will say go to tnwildlife.org to check on those trout stockings that we're going to have going on.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of fun.
In the Mid-South. And we will also, Ron, I heard from Frank Barton down at the Arcobutta Lake the other day, and I haven't been down there. I need to get down there. That lake is, it's not there. I mean, it's just below the spillway. There's some water there. And the thing that I heard, that it may be 7 to 8 years before Arcobutta Lake has water in it again.
Well, yeah, because they're going to continually open the spillway.
They got to fix that thing, too, though.
First, they got to fix it, and they haven't even done that.
No.
They're not even finished surveying it.
Well, it's just that's an economic this bad for the economy down there.
It absolutely is.
And as Ron just mentioned, he mentioned Grenada, Sardis, and
Arcobutta had the biggest crop.
Yeah, they did. It's sad. All right, let's take a break. Ron Wong in studio, Shelby McCall pushing the buttons. We're going to Chattanooga right now. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.